So, Bandai just announced this new Gundam Infinity figure line. From what we can tell, this is not what everybody is thinking it's going to be. Bandai, have you given up? So we
I
were looking
gotta
over
say,
on Amazon, and this is not inspiring. Because they're all around the $13 price point. And, let's zoom into some of these pictures, shall we? Let me just get a little extra zoom in, because these are the final product. This one, Mustachio Question.
oh my, this does not bode well.
It really
This is
does
not.
not.
This does
Look,
not
the
bode well
beam
at all.
saber, which is all one piece, the spray of the white was put on after the pink, which means this whole thing was probably molded in this color when they did this. So you can see the overspray on the beam. It
I'm getting
has...
flash. I'm getting flashback to the old stick beam sabers they used to give us from way back in the day.
It's not as bad as that, because those you could at least do something with. But look up here, up on the shield, we've got massive scarring already on the shield, and this hasn't even hit the shelves yet. So it's already down here. This section is too low, so you can see the full cutout of the thing. Like, what the hell? This is just the first figure and the first image. And on top of that, let's just zoom back in here real quick. Look at this. Look. The collar isn't even flush with the body.
I would just like to point out, go to the knees real quick. Look
Oh,
at how much
yeah.
detail. Look how much detail is not there.
Yeah, even the old MSIA from the early 2000s had better stuff. Like, this literally looks like they scanned a no grade. And I have the original entry grade, the one that, like, Barnes & Noble was giving out a while back, if you remember. Not to me, of course, because they don't tell me jack. But let's
I
go to
would just
this
like.
other image. Let's just start looking at some of the other inaccuracies, like more paint overspray on the arms. Look at these
Especially,
joints.
yeah, look at the elbow. It's all the crusty. That's the best way I can describe it.
And that's not even good looking. Like, the V is off center here. The joint
Right.
here is clearly a... I want to say this looks to be a PVC joint, which would normally do wonders for structural integrity, but in this case, no. These are... And then look at the size of this ankle. These things, on average, and they're going to be using these ankles across everything. These ankles are only going to have you like maybe 20 degrees of movement on at best, and that's on this one.
And they could have at least painted them gray to at least make them look somewhat, kind of try to give us the illusion.
Well, for 4.5 inches, I mean, yeah, Bandai, you
Well,
were on
considering,
top of the figure market for the longest time. You
you know,
blew it.
I gotta say, I mean, yeah, what you said about for the price range, still, you think with all the corners they cut, the corners they had already cut, they could have at least painted at least the protruding ankles gray, at least put some effort. It's really surprising that the RX-78-2 is so bad, considering that Bandai just loved to shove this guy in our faces so many times. You'd think they would have mastered making this guy's design and had it down to a science at this point.
Now get ready for some of the irony. This costs $13. The brand new entry grade costs $7 and looks way better than this.
Oh, I'm not. I was only just debating the other day of getting the entry grade. Yeah, I'll get this over. I'll get that over this any day.
And this looks like they've got the port here for the entry grade. They masked off the other side. It's like they tried scanning the entry grade, but they didn't want to give it the same level of detail, so they decided to just throw everything in the bin. This looks terrible. This really does. And this looks, minus the vent in the faceplate, this is 100% what you get with the entry grade, too. It is exactly like this, except the hands are, solid gray. Minor gripe, not a problem. Let's move on to the next one.
I would just like to point out that oh dear God, the hands on the Gundam are naturally all gray, so that's not even an issue. And oh my God, what did they do? What did they do to my poor boy Wing Gundam? What have they done to you, my boy? I think even Hiro would be sick of this.
Yeah, no, there's a lot going on wrong here. Let's just get a quick zoom in on the shoulders.
Their proportions are all over the place, for one.
Oh, yes.
The yellow piece, let me handle this one. I know Wing Gundam like the back of my hand, so I'll take this. The yellow just protrudes and is not flush with the white and blue at all.
Well, not only that, it's going the wrong angle. They have it mounted sideways. It needs to be mounted diagonally.
Ah, yes, thank you
Much
for
like
that.
Mega Man EXE's chest emblem, it needs to be mounted on the diagonal.
Oh, yeah, NT Warriors Mega Man. Yeah, his was diagonal. Oh, boy.
Gotta check my settings real quick. And we're still going. Because I did not plan ahead, and I forgot that the buttons I use for zooming, because my mouse is damaged, I set as my recording keys. But look, when I said 15 degrees at most, look at this now.
The details aren't there. The parts that should be pointed, that should be blacked in, aren't on the knees, on the feet.
Forget the fact that these are only gonna have single joint construction. Like, I doubt we're even gonna get a bicep rotation. These are looking to be bare bones figures. These have actually lost to the universal units, which are a third the size, coming in at only around 2 to 3 inches, making them the same size as Kotobukiya's Governor line. But those are candy toys that have excessive articulation for their size.
Yeah, you've been telling me a lot that candy toys are actually really darn good toys.
They have been absolutely annihilating the market lately, the G-frame line especially. And then we come down to this image, my personal favorite. Let me just get a zoom going here. Oops.
That chest detail, man. I keep looking at that.
Forget the chest detail. Let's look at some of the obvious glaring features that a lot of people probably didn't see. So the claws are the wrong color because they never painted them. And then we look at his left arm.
The claws aren't even flush with each other, so
the arm isn't even aligned.
Major defect on the whole freaking arm.
And if this is the final product, this is not a production sample. This is the final product.
I would like to state that I grew up watching Gundam Wing, and I've been a fan of Gundam ever since, and I especially love the Wing Boys. I could go on about each of their Gundams and their coolest forms. I could praise the Gundam Wing Boys. I can even praise Hiro all day long until I'm blue in the face. But this is just...
They remove the articulation in the wings.
This is just... You're kidding me.
No, look. If you look really closely, you can see some overspray back here.
No.
So unless they change this, like, you can actually tell with, like, look right here. So here's white, 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 and then here you can see right here along this line is the overspray of red.
No.
So you're going to be able to move them in and out, like in and out for sure, but they won't be able to flare up.
No.
This is just the second figure. So and by the way, in this line, they're doing a Build-A-Figure thing too, I guess. Or when we get to the final image, or the final set that you have not seen, by the way.
Hold on. Let's hold on. There's still something we haven't touched on. Go to the legs and go to the waist.
Yeah, they are way too thin. The skirting is way too short. The hips are way too far out.
He has noodle legs and a teeny tiny skirt armor.
Yeah, that's because these are made to be as small as possible, and when you see their core gimmick, you're going to be like, Oh, wow. I hate it. You're going to hate it even more than you do now.
Oh, and look,
So let's go to the red frame.
wing. Hold on, you missed something. The Wing Gundam even has safety nubs on the V fins.
See, that's probably because that might be a different material. That's least concern, and if you remove those, more than likely underneath is not painted because they likely only molded this in one color of some kind of PVC soft plastic.
Don't matter. I have the Universe. I have the old MSIA. They did not have safety nubs on their V fins, so that
Yeah, these are smaller scale. These are meant like this is clearly they put the D team on this. This is terrible.
More like the E or F team.
Then we get to the red frame.
This is perhaps the most closest in proportion they've gotten from the looks of it.
Yeah, except notice something back here. Where is that line coming from?
Looks like it's his head is just two halves slapped together, but they didn't flush it together properly.
Like, the best looking thing about this is the sword, but I have one major question. How does this go in the hand? Unless you take this end of it off, you can't slide this in because the backs of the hands are not removable.
Oh, great. Parts forming for the sword. Yeah, I can already hear the griping. And speaking of the sword, let's take a look at the sheath.
Yeah, the sheath is actually kind of spot on. It's missing a lot of detail, especially at the end.
But that's the thing we want.
We want to be gold.
Yeah, but that's what we want. We want the detail, not just a small piece of white plastic. That's one thing that sets even the model kit builders off.
Yeah, like, so far, the Astray is looking to be the flagship model for articulation. Okay. It gets one win. Let's go to the next image.
Your typical generic stance with sword.
Honestly, I will admit, I'm not a big fan of like the freakishly oversized sword for it. It feels out of place on it. Just like size of figure, size of sword.
Yeah, the Gerbera Stray was never that big, was it?
Well, no, it's like Sephiroth's sword being held by someone 2 feet tall. And Sephiroth's sword is almost 9 feet long.
Did he have a Buster Sword?
No,
or is it just one of those really long
katanas? Really, really, really long katana.
I never played Final Fantasy. But, okay, I get what you're saying.
The mouth vent's a little small, but, for the size of the head, we can forgive it. Like, the head, like, the major gripe I have here, aside from, obvious detail missing, is the size of the eyes.
They do look kind of on the itty-bitty side.
They are really small.
For me, the thing that stands out is the V-fin. Now the Astrays had really big V-fins, but this one is jumbo size, basically.
Yeah, even the Master Grade doesn't have this, and I have like 3 of it, so.
Again, in terms of proportions and detail, the red frame is looking to be the best. But
they did do something smart here. They did extend the heels out a little bit, because this was a problem even the Master Grades had. The heels were a little on the short side for the back, so this will at least improve stability. So that's one good part right here. They've improved one area. So this so far is the one that's going to sell.
Wow.
Like, I might pick this one up. Eventually. It's the same thing with the Gundam Universe line. I give it no. Oh, wow, I was right. They don't have, unless the bicep rotation is right here, they don't have it. Look. You can actually see the arm is one solid piece up here. Shoulder pads mounted on.
The arms won't be able to go in and out at all, will they?
Likely not, no.
Oh, no, wait, look. You can see it. There's a ball joint in the shoulder.
Yeah, no. Yeah, there's a ball joint here, but there's likely no rotation here.
So even if it can go in and out, it's only as far as that ball joint will allow.
Yeah, it's only going to go about 6 degrees.
Whoop-de-dingle do.
Then we get on to this abomination. So this has no source material. Exactly. This is from a mobile game.
He doesn't like that game, and he's not a fan of this design either. I have to admit, this design is a bit on the lazy side. But, yeah.
No, the mobile game itself, like they were claiming, was on all like Android and stuff like that. I've searched it on Android. It's not there. So this is a game that's locked behind like iPhone users and stuff like that. So, right on, Bandai. If you're gonna, lock it behind a platform, why not just make people pay for it too? Why don't you? Oh wait, you do, because it has microtransactions. Because it's a gacha game.
Why don't you tell everyone what a gacha game is for those who aren't so.
A gacha game is basically like a virtual slot machine. You give it virtual currency or your daily spin, and then it in turn gives you a capsule or prize package based on a set of variables where it'll show you like you have a chance to win this character or this car or this weapon. But if
Or
you
this mobile
actually
suit in
deep
this case.
dive into the parts and the coding of it, you have about the same chance of getting those things from that free drop as you do of getting struck by lightning 3 times in a week.
Or this mobile suit in this case, when it comes to what we're getting.
And
But yeah,
the worst part
not
about
quite.
this one's design is they detailed the head more or less fine, but the big problem with the Artemis is for being from Gundam Breaker Mobile,
A game all about customizing, creating original designs.
this one legitimately has no effort put into it. The legs are like,
Straight up the Destinies.
but I don't remember the Destiny having this part right here. The head is Destiny for sure. The arms, however, like the shoulder pads are not, but these are.
The arms might be the only part that was truly customized for this unit.
And then the backpack is just straight up pulled from the X Gundam. But this isn't the problem. Look, they've thought to detail all of this by giving the satellite system a black wash for the panels.
Blackwash?
Each one of these, if we zoom really far in, is an individual nub that they have sprayed and lined. So either they sprayed silver on this so that the shadow was casting all the black parts we see, or because they also did the same thing on select parts of it. Like here we have a recessed part here, like cracks here. But then we got the entire blackness of the barrel, which doesn't really make sense.
Yeah,
We
I
also
believe
have like chest cannons here, or what looks to be chest cannons.
chest Vulcans technically, but yeah. I
No
think they put more
paint,
detail.
just recessed. There's not even gun barrel slots for them. This
think
is
they
where
put
things
more-
get worse for it,
I-
because there's another angle.
I think they put more detail in the satellite panels than they did the Gundam itself.
They did.
Wow.
Like, you can actually tell right here how much overspray there is on the kit because of, or not kit, the figure, based on how much overspray. Like, look at this. Like, from this angle, you can see there's blue up here. The blue wasn't even applied straight here. And again,
And it's bleeding. It's bleeding into the white.
not production sample. This is the final product. This is the
For the
kind of
rec-
quality control we're going to be getting.
For the record, I would just like to state that the Artemis, the legs of the Destiny, I believe the skirt is the X, the chest is the X, head is the Destiny, and the arms are the most customized part. Backpack is just slapped on the satellite cannon and sword. But yeah, that's the Artemis. It's a
And then
very
once again, like right here, either this is my TV or no, that was my TV. I was about to say it looks like we have a seam line going down here, but no, that was just my screen being stupid.
I would like to point out again, safety nubs. Previous figures did not have this.
Okay, this figure has no source material.
Even still, it's an eyesore for me.
Let's get on to one of the worst designed ones in the set now because of memory. Yep. Because we're getting Barbados in this line too. Let's just immediately jump to the image.
Barbados is just one of those guys that they're just going to keep pushing and pushing out like Unicorn and Gundam, aren't they?
Pretty much, except he's going to have the most limited articulation out of all of them if you actually look at the knee. So
Look at the knees. They don't even the sides of the knees don't even line up with the rest of the leg.
forget
They're
that.
like-
Forget that part. Look, it looks like this joint is at full bend right now, which is at 70 degrees.
Wow, not even
So
90
Barbados
degrees.
is the best detailed one of the set, regardless. But they still screwed up the head because that V-fin is way too high up. The sides
You
of the
can
face are out too far. We've got bleeding on the
Mouth plate.
muzzle flaps and stuff like that. They actually thought to paint, the little cables here. It's a nice touch. Let's go to image 2. All that goodwill just went out the window.
How come he suddenly looks worse now that he's just standing there?
Because the proportions are all wrong.
Oh yeah, I mean for one,
Look
the
at the
Iron
size of the
Blade.
shoulder Look at the size of the shoulder pads.
Where's the yellow? The shoulder pads were supposed to have a nice amount of yellow.
Now, forget the yellow. Forget the missing paint. Look at the scale of them.
Too small or too big?
They're too small. They're 50% too small. Like for a figure of this scale, if the high grade is like 5 inches or thereabouts, and this is 4.5 inches, these need to be at minimum 30% bigger.
You know what's the real eyesore for me? Look at his waist.
Exactly. It's because they were trying to make these all universally compatible, because that's one of the core gimmicks of this line that I just discovered before we started this.
Oh no, this isn't turning to what I think it is it?
It is. Let me introduce you to Figure 6.
Oh dear God, who
the
did they
Comic-Con version.
What?
So, starting right off the bat, they are charging $25 for this one. And look at what we're seeing right here.
No, not that mustardy.
It's gold
yellow
butter plastic. This is the same plastic that lines the inner frame of the real grade Strike Freedom, and that kit cannot hold together.
Oh no. If it's the same stuff for the Strike Freedom, then this thing's gonna just...
Yeah, this thing's going to this thing is going to have the shortest lifespan out of all of it. And by the way, this is the only one that includes, as far as we can tell, the Astray rifle and shield.
Oh no!
This one also includes the most amount of parts. And look, you get Artemis's right arm
and a Zaku arm. Where are they hiding that?
But this is where things get really interesting. So remember how we were talking about structural integrity? Look at what they put in the Zaku arm and the other arm. So this just told us exactly what these joints are.
Are those ratchet joints?
Yep. These are soft ratchets made out of PVC.
They're not going to last.
They're not, especially the gold ones. And why do you think it comes with extra arms?
Oh, please tell me it's not what I think it is.
Yep. Like, they even thought to give you the other side image, too. It's like, oh, cool, great, we can see the other side now. Like, this one's even more detailed than the red frame is. This makes no sense. Why does this one have the white here when the red frame doesn't?
Why are they cheaping out on us? Oh, no.
Look. Forget the fact that the arm is all gold now. Look, this arm goes on so tightly that there's no room for error here. It can't swing or anything. It can only rotate. Sure, you've got the extra joint here, and you've got this joint here and the ball joint here. Whoop-de-doo. That's been standard stuff for decades.
There's no way that thing can bring the shield around to cover it and act like an actual shield.
No, and it actually looks worse with this arm. So one of the core gimmicks of this line...
You can mix and match parts.
And more than likely, because of how oversized this section is and the fact that these skirtings don't move at all, I'm willing to bet that the head comes off, literally every part of this thing comes off because of these ball sockets. They are not aiming at you to be able to remove these ones, however, as if you look closely, the inside is a different material.
So the waist is a full solid piece on its own?
No, the entire lower body is going to be a full solid piece. This is basically them trying to do Gundam Breaker, but with real stuff. I'm just going to go ahead and say this. If you're going to spend the money buying all this, and especially if you're going to spend the $25 to get this, unless you're going to Comic-Con, at which point, strongly caution against that. Current world situation and stuff like that, not a good idea on its best day.
The pandemic's not over, people.
Yeah, no, it's not. But with this thing coming out, and it's $25, and it's 4.5 inches, there are so many things you can get in this. You can get yourself a 30-minute missions kit with several add-on sets for the same price, and have way more customizability, way more playability, way more options available, better articulation, better detailing if you put the effort in.
Wait, hold on. These things are only 4.5 inches?
4.5 inches. These things are... So, let me put this also in perspective.
They're smaller than a 1144?
Yes.
no.
This is a new
No.
size class. So the Infinity class is to bridge between high grade and SD. Because this is smaller than a 144 no grade. That being said, these things are still going to be bigger than the 144 Skygrasper. That thing is the size of a Hot Wheels car. But for the same price as one of these, maybe $2 more, you can get something way better. You can pick up a G-frame. I've found these locally in Targets now. These are incredible. They're like $14. They've got the selection of the Hi-Nu, the Aegis, the Granddaddy Gundam rollout colors, and then the real type colors. So those are the 4 I've seen there. And they, like, I have a bunch of G-frames. They are universally the same frame. They've only made 2 different frames, but they have the same level of articulation. Even Sazabi, who is as thick as that thing is and as chunky, that thing can still move. It can move almost as good as the real grade can, and it's the size of a candy toy. It is the size, if anybody has ever collected a Kamen Rider Soto figure or a Super Sentai Yudo figure, they are the exact same size. These things are slightly bigger than SDs and have the articulation of almost master grades and have the detail of master grades for panel lines. There's still a lot of detail you have to put in yourself, but that's the joy. This is a miniature master grade, essentially.
I would like to point out one thing that I've noticed about these new Infinity figures. They kind of remind me of those, I forgot what the term was, but all the way back in 2011 during Gundam Age, they had basically a bunch of figures.
Yes. I know the ones you're talking about. The ones that were for the arcade cabinet that were about the size of master grades, give or take, depending on the figure you got. And then you had to buy different ones, which, like, you bought the main core unit, which had, like, the main figure. Then you had to buy a bunch of add-on sets, and you can mix and match them.
Exactly. I remember now. The gauging builder figures from Gundam Age. You had a variety of mobile suits, but they were, again, like you said, the size of a master grade or a 1/100, and did the exact same thing, but at least had, I think it's safe to say they at least had somewhat better articulation.
In some cases, yes, but overall worse structural integrity.
Well, at least they had the detail, so they at least looked good.
Yeah, passable from a distance, doesn't really hold up close.
Well, I could definitely say
I can definitely say one thing, like, for people who are going to do, like, army building or something like that, or people who want to, like, say, for example, they were trying to make their own little, like, hangar display and stuff like that, and they didn't want to spend a small fortune and a good chunk of their lives building the same kit over and over and over again, and didn't want to have somebody build it for them. This might be a good way to just fill the hangar, because the Astray Red frame, basically, if you take away all the weaponry it has, that's more or less passable from a distance as being the standard M1 from a distance.
You need to get a new backpack, but yeah. But with the lack of detail and give it a new backpack, yeah, it could pass for an M1.
And given the fact that these are Bandai, I'm not going to be surprised if we see premium Bandai ones of these coming out, because they're not even out yet, and here's the Comic-Con version for this year.
If we actually do have P Bandais, I'm just going to be...
It's, like, I'm straight up going to say this right now. It's going to be just like everything else. The first thing we're going to see is another color of the Astray. It's likely not going to be the blue frame or something like that. They might go crazy and do the green frame because they haven't done that in years. But this line's going to have to do really well for Bandai to be able to sell it.
I don't see that happening.
I predict I'm going to find these in thrift stores, in Goodwills. So, Big Lots, may I suggest you start placing your order now?
I just don't know what they were thinking with these things.
These are not good figures from the production samples. I love this. So, like, with this one, it says right here, includes 2 additional right arms.
Along with the shield and Type 71 beam rifle.
No, but here's the thing. If you're going to give us an extra figure and stuff like that and charge more for us for this stuff, and all we're getting is this stuff right here, just give us another side of arms. Just give us the other side, too. Did you really have to give us already in this one? So you're already telling us you're going to make a Zaku with this one right here.
Yeah, that was a dead giveaway on Bandai's part.
Yeah, so you're already telling us you're making a Zaku. But then right over here with the Artemis, really? We're
Are we
not
gonna
even
get it?
in, we're not even in the figures being released yet, and you're already reprinting and recoloring parts. You already did that here. That's different. This is a special version. There was no reason for this.
So what? Are we gonna get a gold Zaku and gold Artemis down the road?
No, this is just them doing it because they had to make it fit in with the color scheme on this character. Because likely being a PVC material and stuff like that, you can't really paint this. It's just like trying to paint the Marvel Legends figures. What happens when you paint those? Or better question, anybody remember what happened with the new or like the old Power Ranger Legacy line for the figures? Because that was also Bandai, that was Bandai America, except these are like if these are they're claiming that are if these are excuse me while my tongue trips over.
These are supposedly by Bandai America as well.
Well, if this is from Bandai America, that explains literally everything. But if this is Bandai Japan, they are clearly outsourcing to China. Because I cannot imagine that they would ever do something this low quality. This, like, in Japan, this wouldn't even be considered a candy toy. This would probably be considered a freaking Happy Meal toy. A really good Happy Meal toy.
I would actually want this in my McDonald's Happy Meal if this was a Happy Meal toy. Good to know that that McDonald's is giving Gundam some love. But yeah, as a genuine, legit figure, like officially merchandise and all that, yeah, no. Good as a Happy Meal toy. Everything else, it would just be subpar.
Wait, and I just noticed something different about this one too.
This is the best looking one out of the bunch, by the way.
They painted the side vents.
Yes, they did, and they even did more detail on the head. See the black parts up top?
Yeah, that was there on the red frame too. I believe this one was the red. No, that was Artemis, so that means this is red frame. No, they didn't.
Like I said, the gold frame is easily the most detailed and best looking out of the bunch.
Yeah, but it's the exact same mold.
Yeah, but I guess since it's the exclusive, we got to give it even more detail and make it look even better.
Yeah, well, for the price, remember, people going to Comic-Con, they're already paying $70 to walk through the door.
All I'm saying is, if I ever go to Comic-Con, if I did, this had better be like that one free item you get just for showing up.
This won't be. This you pay the money to go in. Honey, get out of my way. You go in, and then you have to buy this from their booth. So this one is limited to 3,000 pieces.
Yeah,
I don't care how limited this thing is. I am predicting that these 3,000 pieces are going to be shelf warmers.
That's pretty bad.
Because
the only way
looks terrible. This one looks even worse. Let's just look at Barbados, because it says each figure comes with interchangeable parts and accessories. But they're also claiming right here, Gundam Infinity Series, build a figure. So unless each of these is also going to be packaged with parts, much like this one is, with the additional limbs, which very much doubt for the price, like even just a single limb, where you had to buy all figures in the set to get the full character, much like with the Marvel Legends and some of the old Power Ranger Legacy Collection figures. Not Lightning. Lightning doesn't do that.
Or like the old Metal Gear Solid, where you would Metal Gear Solid figures from like the early 2000s or late 90s, where you would get all the figures of the characters and then put it all together. You would get parts and could build a figure of Metal Gear Ray.
Yeah, they've been doing Build-A-Figures for years, but a lot of the time, those figures were either like really terrible or the only thing that was worth the line, where each individual figure was worthless, but everybody wanted the Build-A-Figure. I remember that's how it was with the Legacy Collection stuff. Everybody was buying the figures for the Megazord and then selling the Megazord off for a ridiculous profit.
I saw that too.
Look that over on eBay and stuff like that. Some of the limbs still sell for around $20-$30.
Now, I can't say for how much it goes for, but that's exactly what I did. Because I wanted the Metal Gear Ray figure, but I didn't want to collect all the other figures because I didn't care about the characters. So I just went on eBay and bought the completed Metal Gear Ray.
And anytime people get involved like that, they're always going to get scammed and stuff like that. But let's just go briefly and go look over at Reddit real quick. I don't like going to Reddit because of how toxic they are usually. But in this case, I think we're just going to laugh. I don't care. I don't want to sign in. Let's see. Ah, yes. One member says, I was browsing through Amazon looking at Gundam products sold/fulfilled by Amazon, as I do once a week or so, and noticed this new listing that's available for pre-order. Not much is really available in terms of information, but here's a blurb from the webpage. The iconic world of Gundam comes to life in this exciting 4.5-inch Build-A-Figure. With exceptional detail, these figures are the perfect addition to any Gundam collection.
Talk about overhyping.
Exceptional detail.
That part got me.
Exceptional detail.
When you say that and then bring up the figures, it just makes the joke hit home all that much harder.
Yeah, anybody else remember the premium Bandai quality meme that was put out a while ago? It was like 15 seconds long, and it's just... I have horror stories from Premium Bandai. Specifically Premium Bandai America. Multiple people in my local builders group have. I was apparently the lucky one. Features and details. Gundam Infinity Series Build-A-Figure. 4.5-inch figure. Each figure comes with interchangeable parts and accessories. The RX-78-2 Gundam, ages 6+. Look, newsflash. If I have a kid whose ages 6 and up, even I won't buy them this.
Because they'll break them in less than 5 seconds?
And I love this. It almost sounds like it could be a bit of a throwback to the Gundam action figures they sold in the early 2000s at department stores like Walmart, Kmart, Target, etc. I would like to point out, Kmart went bankrupt. They couldn't sell these things. Target couldn't sell these things, so they put them on clearance and said they would never get Gundam again, yet they're buying kits again. Walmart could not move these things very quickly. Toys R Us clearance the entire section.
Indeed, I remember even after they stopped showing Gundam, I still saw the old Mobile Suit Gundam action figures still on the shelves for a while. But yeah, I get the feeling from looking at these things that they're like trying to give us that old nostalgic vibe. But if you want to do it right and do the Gundams right, they should be better articulation, better detail, be just that much more awesome. We're in 2021, people. We're not in the 90s. Things should be upgraded, not downgraded like these things are. These Gundam Infinity things seem worse than those old action figures.
And here's the other thing. This is being made exclusively by Bandai America. So this just confirms it. And this is where I have to draw a little bit of a problem, because back when Bandai America had the Power Rangers line, sure, we got some figures that were rather hit and miss, namely the entire Operation Overdrive toy line, except for the Microzords. But when they did the 5-inch figures, that's where they shined. We had so many good 5-inch figures. Like, especially in Dino Charge, where they started giving us not only little Megazord figures, but they also took it the step further and gave us an army of villain figures. I think they did all but 2 of the monsters used in the show. So Bandai America, you were on top of the figure market. Then you did this. Well,
what happened?
First, you did a bunch of other bad choices, namely, not adapting some of the toys and stuff like that we wanted. Like what you did with the Ninja Steel toy line. That was making us buy 2 additional Megazords just for the additional torso units that we wanted, and then not even giving us the rest of the line. And then what you did with the Lion Fortress. I have 5 of these things I can't give away.
It's true. It's true. He's told me. I can vouch for it. I'm a witness.
And the Lion Fortress is just as detailed as the Gundam Infinity figures. Keep in mind I just said that. And they wanted $100 for it.
Please tell me you're joking.
I am not joking. Toys R Us, when they were closing, started handing these things off. on the final day for like $7.
What happened?
A lot. They upscaled the figure. Like, if anybody's curious about how bad the Lion Fortress is, please go to my channel and just watch the video. This is, like, you will not be ever wanting to get this thing. I know one person who wants this. I'm still asking why.
You made a review of it?
Yeah, I had it for my original one I paid $100 for. I had it for less than 24 hours and it was returned.
Regretted it ever since?
No, because then I started finding them in Goodwills for pennies on the dollar.
No, I mean regretting spending all that much money for it.
Oh yeah, no, I got my money back.
You're one of the lucky ones, I take it.
Yeah, no, well, then I found them in like 99-cent only stores for $10 and I'm like, okay, that's better. But, like, I love this. Another user. These look bad. Like, $13 seems too much for what you're getting. Thank you. Thank you. Another person who made the post. For sure. These things definitely aren't pretty to look at. Agreed. Strongly agree. The Gundam figures I have from when I was younger, from the early 2000s, that I gave to my son are definitely more detailed and what appears to be a higher quality. No shit, Sherlock.
I have my when I first got into Gundam, the first ever Gundam figure I got was the old Mobile Suits in Action, or which is one of the line's official name, the action figure of the Wing Gundam. It was the first one, so that one couldn't transform. But I can still say I've still had it kept well maintained, it has all the parts, even to this very day, and that was around 20 years ago. Actually, well, close to 20 years ago. Wait.
No, it was about 20 years ago.
Actually, 21 years ago. That was 21 years ago. And I can even just say, would you do me a favor and look at the Wing Gundam again?
Let's see. Granddaddy Wing.
Yeah, I can just say from the get-go, just by looks alone, the Wing Gundam from way back then is better than this.
Yeah, forget the fact that the head looks like it went through a trash compactor.
The head and the weird and the unusual proportions kind of remind me of the Universe figure.
Yeah, no, this reminds me of a joke they used in Red Dwarf involving the character Crichton. What happened to you? I went bobbing for apples in a cement mixer.
The head is definitely off compared to, like, say, how it's supposed to be in the show. But I'd say the head is perhaps the best looking part of this figure.
I'm actually going to give it to the shield. The shield kind of looks alright if you just ignore the gap here.
The shield looks kind of... It could just be the angle, but the proportions of the shield look off. But that could just be the angle.
I'm kind of scared about the gun. Because the gun looks okay, but it's still missing a lot of detail here. But they didn't even have this on the Universe figure, so I think we can let that one slide.
Actually, there is one part that I can't forgive. Look at the barrel of the gun.
Yeah, no, it's a little thin.
No, you don't even see it. On the bottom of the barrel. That yellow piece is it's supposed to have some yellow on the bottom of the gun.
Okay, this wasn't even there on the Universe figure. And this was also banned. Like, Gundam Universe was defined by...
No, that's one thing they got right on every figure. There was always the yellow on the gun. The Universe figure has it. The old MSIA has it.
Well, that's the MSIA. That was designed in Japan.
All the model kits have it. The Robot Spirits have it.
Remember, this is Bandai America. This is the company that instead of giving us in Ninja Steel, instead of giving us the actual 6th Ranger Morpher, which, by the way, in Japan, for those of you who never saw Ninja, his Morpher in Japan was a hamburger. The hamburger he uses to take... The hamburger flip phone that he uses to take selfies with in the show is his Morpher.
He's not kidding.
Not that stupid silver gray repainted, resprayed, redesigned special weapon that they did and called it the Morpher. I have this thing. This is terrible. The original Morphers, like, they changed everything. The original Morphers in Japan for that one season were swords.
They weren't swords over here, I take it?
No, it was the special weapon. They flipped it. The sword was the special weapon, and the special weapon was the Morpher.
Wow. Bandai America, why? Why? Why are you making all these changes? Why are you not giving us the details and doing these Gundams?
Like, I'd say Hasbro was doing a better... Like, I'd go as far as say Hasbro's doing a better job, but Hasbro has dropped the ball so hard. Like,
Tell us, my friend. Tell us, Dread Joker, how far have they dropped the ball?
The entire Beast Morphers line was pulled from stores. The Megazords did not sell. The Dino Fury line is going to miss the Zords, which are the core component of the toy line, are going to miss the launch window of the show and are not coming out till later this year, sometime around August or September.
And the show's already showing now, correct?
The show's already on the 6-month hiatus. We're already up to episode 8.
Wow. 8 episodes and we're already on hiatus. Wow.
Yeah, that's going exactly how it is. I could rant and rave about that show, but that will be an entire separate video. Because
my gosh, every time I look at that chest, man, those chest vents and the eyes.
Forget that. This is the wrong color. It's too bright.
Even still, the whole thing, the whole torso looks like something taken out. Doesn't look like a figure. It looks like something taken out of a bad cartoon.
Going back to the Reddit post, it's funny how that seems to happen. Same thing with Beyblades. My son wanted a new one after using some of mine. Again, early 2000s, and those ones are way higher quality. I can confirm this. Those Beyblades from the old days are way heavier. They will straight up launch things out of the arena now if they hit some of these small, compact ones.
Gen 1 Beyblades? I can confirm. I can basically confirm.
Okay, now these two, I can actually, I agree with this statement, kind of. I hope they release the Alex and Ground Gundam in the line. Why do I hope this? Because, at this scale, they can be missing all the detail and stuff like that, because if, the paint runs and chips and stuff like that, especially for Ground Gundams, you can just call that battle damage.
Yeah, with the Ground Gundam being a Ground Gundam and Alex being such basic units, it's kind of hard to mess them up.
I love this. This is some of the worst shit I have ever seen. And I have seen a lot. I have seen outhouses just randomly explode. I have seen septic tanks start backing up.
It's true. It's true. This guy, being friends with this guy, I know it's very hard to get a reaction out of this guy in various ways. But the minute I showed him these figures, he instantly had to make this video. He would have been here sooner, but he had technical problems.
Yeah,
but other than that,
OBS is counterintuitive. Welcome to the future. The future is not user-friendly.
Anyway, the point is, I can barely get anything out of this guy other than him giving me a, "Are you freaking serious, you retard?" look. But other than that, the minute I showed him these, he instantly had to make a video because of just how bad these things were.
Yes.
And this is coming from a guy who collects everything Wing Gundam. The Gundam Universe Wing Gundam needs some work. It's missing some of its accessories.
The entire Gundam Universe line needs to be retired.
Or at least severely upgraded if you want to make them good.
Completely retired and retooled from the ground up. Every figure is sharing the same joints. So if you buy one figure, you know how bad everything else in the line is going to be. They all use the same joints. The next one coming out for the next wave that was supposed to have really good articulation is Exia, and it's using the same joints. So the 00 legs that that 00 is famous for having amazing articulation, they just threw that out the window. The Gundam Universe figures, which cost on average $25, are losing to G-frames, which are candy toys, which cost $15 if you buy them without the other part. Or if you live in Japan, you can get them. I'm not even making this up. G-frames in Japan cost about 700 yen a box. So that's about $647 US per box. That's like $13 a figure for a really good figure.
It's hard to get a good compliment out of him when he says it's so flawed. But the point is, the point I'm trying to make is, I even got the Gundam Universe figure because I liked the design, the changes to the design and the new added details. I liked what they did with the design and everything, and I'm okay with the Gundam Universe figure. But
I would admit even the best one from Wave 2 was Banshee. I'm only saying this because of how bad the Unicorn was. The Banshee at least looks good because even if they gave it a black wash, you would never see it anyways except on the gold parts, which would ruin the gold paint. So that's where I can give them the points because it looks good from certain angles.
But the point I'm trying to make is the reason I got the Universe Wing Gundam is because, again, I grew up with Wing. I love Wing Gundam. I want to get as much as I can of Wing because I just love that suit so much. But after seeing this, I am hesitant to get the Gundam Infinity Wing Gundam. Because this thing is just so bad.
Like, I'll be honest.
Like front to wing.
I might pick some of these up. They're at the bottom of my priorities list, however. I might pick up one or two for test, because when I already know Target's going to get these things in. I don't live that far from a Target. I don't live very far from a Walmart. I don't live far from anything in terms of stores. And I know that because the employees just want to do their jobs, they want to get paid, they won't look too closely if I say, yeah, this thing, I don't want it, and I return it. Because these don't even look good for customization. You're better off buying your own model kits for it. Which brings me back to my point. With the gold frame being $25, you could buy any number of things. Like, I'm just going to bring this up here. I'm just going to bring up New Type real quick. Just so I can show you some of the general images. Like, let me just go to their model kits. Let's just go this, because there's a lot of good quality here. Let's just go to Gundam. Hit refresh. And look, sure, a lot of these aren't everybody's cup of tea, but look, $15. Really good. $15. Brother has this, he likes it. $7. Okay, a lot of stickers. $27. Little more expensive, way more articulation. A lot of detail. Works with everything else. And you get a nice little piece of shelf candy. But, like, going down the line, like, you get the quality you pay for here. Like, also, look, this figure right here, the Zaku 2. I have this one. This one is older than sin. This is, like, 2004, 2006 at latest.
No, I think it was 2002, even, actually.
$13. Same price, is going to have more or less the same articulation, but you get to build this, and this is already fully customizable with everything if you have the right parts and are in the right mindset. You can even, like, if you don't like the colors on these, cool. Pick up a can of paint.
You can paint them. You can paint them and customize them, make them your own colors.
Because these are made of styrene. This is polystyrene. This is plastic that you can paint easily. Like these ones. These ones, quality control issues. Made in China. Made in Japan. Made in China.
I would like to point out for the record, actually, since I have this Zaku, its articulation is actually better, and it definitely has better ankle articulation by a country mile.
Like some of these things, like the prices. Crazy. Like some of these prices, like, look, Haros, if you want to get involved, this is where you go. This is where you start somebody off. You start them on a Haro or an SD. You don't just, like, say, hey, here's a perfect grade, go nuts. You don't start somebody by throwing them in the deep end.
Yeah, the perfect grade, no, not a good idea. Even for a veteran who's done this for over 20 years, those things still take me at least a week.
I did my first one in 18 hours, but that was without many breaks. But, like, you can see, like, there's a lot you can get for the same price. Forget these ones. These are premium Bandais. These are always stupid expensive regardless of where you shop because of scalpers.
Yeah. Yep. Premium Bandais are a real witch and a half.
But look, I just want to slice this one for you. Yes, this is extremely high. But keep in mind, box of 5. 70 divided by 5. That puts them pretty good because if each of these was about $15, that's 2 of them would make 30. Here's 30. You get 5. That would be normally 75. Knock off $5. Okay, you get 5 figures for $70. By the time you apply tax to these figures, if you're buying them locally or even online, if you're paying shipping, you could have bought yourself a box of G-frames that are way more detailed. These are not painted images. These are what they look like out of the box.
And already they have more detail than the Infinity units.
And there are no stickers on these. They have a full inner frame. These things are bigger than the Infinity units too. Or they might be the same size for all I know. Because these are about the size of a candy toy, which is about 4 inches.
Should be around the same size overall.
Yeah. Bigger does not mean better. And this is how they come in the boxes. So if you're ever locally, this is what you're looking for. So with that, I do not believe I will ever recommend these. I'm sure this might change once I get my hands on them. So be sure to look out for reviews, because I'm sure we're both probably going to do a review on them or something like that, because these are going to be some interesting figures.
Oh yeah, this is gonna be fun. I say with an asterisk. Actually,
Oh,
scratch
yes.
that. Scratch that. This probably ain't gonna be fun. It'll probably be more torture if they're as bad as they look.
Yeah, no, to quote Firefly, this landing's going to be interesting. Define interesting. Oh god, we're all going to die?
Yeah, sounds about right. What they did to Wing, man. I usually go for Wing stuff, even if it's not that great, but this is just pushing it.
Honestly, I cannot wait to see how Bandai Japan is going to one-up this, because they had to get approval to do this. So with that, thank you for sitting through this long-winded rant. Hope you all enjoyed. Leave a comment. Do whatever.
Thanks for having me on here, pal.
Yeah, no problem. This is something just to hope get back active and stuff like that, so I'm probably going to start streaming again sometime soon, so keep your eyes open. Thanks for watching.